for the lift to work, we have to actually EVA and activate the lift and then board again. As you can see, we have another plane down in the hangar there. That plane does not reverse, so he's stuck down there for good now. Rolling forward. In this case, I'll put the brake on, and I'm just going to try to launch halfway, not even halfway down the carrier. Let's just see what happens here. And this looks like garbage here, I realize, but I repositioned the wings and I forgot to reattach these, so these go to the motor. Every time I was pulling up onto the ramp, the back of the motor would bottom out on the ramp and knock itself off, so that wasn't too fun. Okay, so let's build up some motor power here. I'll release the brake. Whoa. Yeah! First carrier launch. Should actually go and see the other carrier. I'm horrible at flying these things with a keyboard. It's just deadly. Wish I knew the trim key. There she is. So to get up the elevator again, you have to EVA because it doesn't allow you to control the elevator from within another aircraft. So we just activate it and then we jump back in. Make sure you put your brake on or you're going to be going somewhere. Now these are temporary deck plates from release 1. I am making plugs for these, and one's going to have a con tower. The textures, of course, are not done, and because of these are temporary, there's gaping holes here. The nose is also just temporary paint, not done yet. So I'm going to keep the brake on this thing. I'm going to jump to the boat and we'll see what happens. Okay, let's get her moving. Okay guys, here we are. We're on the water and getting funky noises off that ramp back there. I'm gonna have to make that detach. It's just a simple loading ramp. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is go in here. It's funny because the camera will prevent you from sometimes going, see, below that level. So what you have to do is you have to back out the back. And that's one reason why I'm keeping the back of the carriers open, because then you can kind of get yourself back in, have another look. And then leaving is not a problem, but sometimes the carrier kind of the camera kind of locks. So as we can see, the plane didn't really move at all, which is great. And even while we're on the water, the plane hasn't moved very much. So I'm just going to crank up the speed here. I'm not sure what the planes weigh, although they're negligible compared to the weight and to the mass and the power of this. Some thrusters on the insides of these little things here. There's a little ledge here you could actually walk some guys and put some equipment on. Yeah, I really got to get rid of these ramps. These ramps are just causing all kinds of nightmares. So there's water there. So all I have to do now is transfer water to any of these other ones here. I think it's leaning towards the right at the front, so I'm just going to shift the water from the front, half of it from the front to this side. And you see the weight? It's tilted it a little bit that way, you can tell. So I think it did a little bit of something, but what you want to do ideally is have at least 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 4, depending on the amount of weight you're planning on carrying. Have 4 or 5 of those down the center, and that would be about 25 tons. You should be able then to counterbalance pretty much any force on the ship. So that's important to know and important to do. Especially if you want to be effective in taking off, and perhaps even allowing your aircraft to roll backwards. You could shift all the weight back here and let your aircraft roll backwards and then take off. Alternatively, you could put the lift at the back, but as you can see, since we load from the back, the lift might get in the way. So as far back, I mean, you could bring this ramp back a little bit more. We could probably put the lift in here, so it would have at least a little bit more room to take off, and that would be a little bit better. So we're going to try another takeoff from the boat, this time in the water. So we'll jam on the gas a bit here, release the brake. And we're off. Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I know you guys are going to have a lot of fun sailing your boat around. Those are guys with helicopters. You guys can have a lot of fun because it's not so difficult taking off and landing a helicopter on a deck as it is a fixed-wing aircraft. I specifically designed this aircraft to take off quickly. It's not a well-performing aircraft when it comes to other kinds of performance. It kind of sucks. Like, I have no lift practically here. It's maxed out. So, I mean, the guys who know how to make some better aircraft might have a little more fun with this than most people, but and to load these two aircraft took me about 20 tries. So I'm thinking a deck side winch using a couple different mods might be a little better suited to loading the aircraft carrier up, and then off you go on your mission, and you can take your time using up your aircraft. Use one at a time, or save them all on your boat and go park your boat in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and just have fun with it. So this is pretty cool, circling my carrier like this. Wow, that was a lot of work. Anyways, off to bed, and leave some comments, and thanks for watching. Later, guys.